Arguably, one of the most popular shows on television right now would be AMC's The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead is about a group of survivors in a zombie apocalypse. To survive, Rick, the leader of the survivors, and his group have to compete, which includes killing other survivors.
Join us in the road.
The show was based on Rick's group's perspective entirely. When they go into other survivors' camps to steal their food and kill, although it's horrific, it still seems somewhat heroic in the show. Why is that? If The Walking Dead had a series that was told in another point of view, like the Penelopiad, a novel about Margaret Atwood, to the Odyssey, we might have to rethink who the actual hero is in the show. The Penelopiad is the foundation on which the Odyssey is built. Without it, readers have no understanding or appreciation for the suffering of Odysseus' family and the ones around him. Same goes for The Walking Dead with the other survivors. The Odyssey is like the downtown of a city, and the Penelopiad is the farm and structures surrounding the city to make it complete. It is likely that high school readers will be required to read a classic mythology, specifically Homer's The Odyssey. However, they are rarely, if ever, challenged to look at the perspective of Odysseus' victims. Sure, some readers like the Penelopiad for introducing a whole different perspective of the Odyssey. After they have read the other side of the story, they say it seems likely that Penelopiad was much braver than the monster fighting Odysseus. And some readers dislike the Penelopiad because Penelope skipped multiple years at a time. The fact that some parts were slowed down and sped up compared to the Odyssey was confusing at times for the readers. Personally, I love the fact that someone actually thought of how Penelope felt and decided to write a novel about it. It seems quite interesting, but just like the other readers, some parts of the books, such as the singing of the maids, were hard for me to understand. I just felt like it was not necessary. If the author replaced the singing with more description about the process of Odysseus' return, the story would have been less confusing. Just like anything that happens in reality, to understand the problem, we need to look at both sides of it. If only one perspective is given, the opinion is likely to be a little bit biased. For the Odyssey, the poem is mostly focused on the adventures of Odysseus, the monsters, action, and fighting. It is very evident throughout the poem, very little information is given of what is going on in Ithaca without Odysseus, their king. Also, many schools in America are required to read the Odyssey. If we add the short 200-page novel, The Penelopiad, students will most definitely understand the Odyssey much better with the information of the other side of the story. Understanding both sides of a story has also been taught for a long time. Parents have been telling their children to think about how the other person would feel if they did something. This is all perspective and understanding of the situation. According to Dr. Wayne Dyer, an American philosopher, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. This applies to everything from television shows to books to real-life situations. The reason why different opinions form is because of perspective. If the Penelopiad was never published, Penelope would be forgotten and not given credit for what she did while Odysseus was gone. To bring up the analogy of the city, a city is formed by people gathering together, and that all starts with a town. For a town to grow, it needs to have resources and business. For business to be created, it first needs to have the resources, which is the foundation. Without these resources, a city is not able to be made. The Odyssey is a town that has started, and the Penelopiad with the background supports it for the Odyssey to grow.